My message about being present. Thank God for another day. Thank Him for the gift of life in itself. And as we talk about being present, I had to prepare a message where it talks about the power of being present. So it's awakening to source, awakening to life, and there is a power that comes and is not requiring you to chase anything. It doesn't require you to become something. It just helps you to be in control and in demand. It don't make you have to prove your worth or control about tomorrow. It simply asks you to arrive today. Arrive in this breath that we have now and arrive in the body that you're in at this moment. Arrive in the sacred reality that life is happening right now. When you're truly present, you're not merely existing, but you are actually participating in life. You're opening yourself to the intelligence, the love, the beauty, and the light that is already moving throughout creation. So the present moment is where your life actually meets you. Yesterday can't teach you, but yesterday cannot hold you. Tomorrow can inspire you, but tomorrow cannot touch you. Only now can be lived. So tomorrow ain't here yet. Yesterday's already passed. So we learn from it, but it's not our present moment. That's where we make the difference in our presence. And the difference between being alive and being awake is a person can have a heartbeat and still live as though they're absent from their own life. They can be eating without tasting the food. They can be listening without even hearing the message. They could walk around without even noticing that the sky is blue. They could be sitting beside their loved ones and their mind be somewhere else and they're not present. So today I want to wake up in the morning today and immediately bring to the attention the power of being present, not surrendering your attention to notifications, obligations, fears, comparisons, imaginary features or futures. You don't want to live in autopilot. The spirit gave you a distinction to choose. What do you want to be? And it's our responsibility to choose for ourselves. You don't want to be and it's described as an NPC or like The Walking Dead, a non-player character. That means you're being controlled. You don't have a choice in what you do and how you move. You're just reacting and consuming. You're not really, on the contrast, living in your power and authenticity. You're thinking in it in the wrong way. So the present creates space between the stimulus and the response. The present person says, I am here. What can I receive from today? The presence is a mental health practice. Being present doesn't mean pretending that everything's okay, but it does mean that you have the ability to control what it is you're experiencing. When anxiety rise, instead of becoming the anxiety person, you can just notice what you're experiencing in that moment. When sadness comes, when your mind start racing, you can say those things. I am experiencing this right now, but it's not overwhelming you to the point where you can't think for yourself and that situation has control over you. You are no longer completely fused with that experience. You now become a witness to it. And if you could witness something, that means you have the ability to walk away from it. So that's the power of being present. Even though situations and circumstances, your future, oh man, I gotta have this, I want to get that. Yeah, it seems intimidating, but when you can stand in your present and say, hey, I'm doing what I can in this moment, it's being mindful, having a mindful practice. You training your attention to return to the present rather than being endlessly carried away by the worries of the past or the troubles of the future. You're being present. It teaches you how to stand in the storm without becoming the storm. And if somebody is struggling with that, whether it's anxiety, depression, trauma, hopelessness, thoughts of self-harm, presence practice should not replace professional care. So get somebody and reach out to them and really have real support that's available to you. And the breath is a doorway, so when you breathe, you recognizing you're in that space to notice where you are, to notice what you're experiencing, and notice what you need help with in that moment. So that way you can be the master. Just be present in your breathing, just even in this moment right now, just take a moment to really see what's all around you. Who's all around you? What's your desires in this moment and day? Am I breathing? Am I alive? Yesterday I was sitting outside and asking myself that question, man, just standing in the grass. Am I alive? Do I have things that I care about and that care about me as well? Am I contributing to the light in someone else's life? I am here. I am breathing. I am alive. Try it, man. Just say it out loud. Just pause. Take one slow breath and feel your feet. Relax your shoulders. Look around. Name 5 things you can see. Notice 4 things you can physically feel. Listen for 3 sounds. Notice 2 things you can smell. And take one big conscious breath. That's giving your nervous system a message, a restart, a present intentional decision that we are here. We are safe enough to slow down, and we do not have to solve the entire universe in this 1 second. So it gives you the ability to be peaceful in your presence and not overwhelmed. So stop missing your life while trying to build your life. I say that one more time. Stop missing your life while trying to build your life. There's a great paradox in this modern existence where we could become so focused on creating the life we want that we stop experiencing the life that we already have. It's like we postponing our joy. How many times have you heard yourself say things like this? I'll be happy when I get there. I'll rest when I finish. I'll enjoy my family when work slows down. I'll appreciate my body when it looks different. I'll feel worthy when I accomplish enough. Why do we think those things? That's the enemy playing with our mind and taking our time. But when we present, that's when life keeps whispering in, hey, I'm here. Here's the sunrise. Here's the sunshine. Here's the conversation I needed to be had. Here's this meal that I could enjoy without having, oh, I got some, I gotta hurry up and scuff this down. Here's the person sitting next to me that I really care for. Let me make sure they know that. Let me make sure they feel that. Let me make sure they experience that. Here's the opportunity to begin again. Do not be so obsessed with reaching your destination that you abandon the sacred road of the journey in itself. Your life is made of moments. It's not just about creating milestones. And if you're absent from the moments, where exactly will you ever find your life? So presence is a loving relationship with life. To be present is to say yes to that relationship with yourself. You got a relationship with God. You got a relationship with other people, with nature, a relationship with just breathing and connecting with source, a relationship with the mysteries. We talked about that yesterday in Romans 8:28. Even things not going good. If you have a relationship with it, you can see that, hey, it's for your good in some way to teach you, to build you, and to strengthen you. You may understand source as God, as divine intelligence, as universal love, as spirit, as creation, or as the sacred space and the presence within and around life. But whatever language you use, just understand that presence with that creates an opening. So instead of constantly asking, what can life give me? You can say, how can I participate in life? Instead of demanding that every moment be comfortable, you can be curious about what every moment can actually teach you and build within you. And instead of fighting every uncomfortable feeling, you can learn to sit beside yourself and have compassion and recognize that not everything needs a response. The practice of sacred pausing. Before you answer something, just pause. Before you react to something, just pause and breathe. Before you send that message, before you assume someone's intention, before you criticize yourself, and before you rush into tomorrow, just pause. Consider and ask yourself, what is happening right now? What am I feeling? What does my body need? What is actually in my control? And this important, this question right here, what would love do? And love, that could be replaced with Christ. That could be replaced with God, because God is love. So ask that question. What would love do next? If you in fear, if you got ego going, if you impressed or not impressed with anybody and everybody, ask, what would love do next? And let that be the guide that helps you either be present in that moment and relax and be still, or be present in that moment and be active and create and do. That's both being present. Being still is being present, and being active is being present. It's all about your intention and your focus in that moment. Becoming a witness, not a prisoner. Your presence helps you hear the difference. Your thoughts are not always instructions. Your emotions are real, but they are not always predictions. Your part of the past is the story, but it does not become the author of every chapter. So your past experiences, if you attach to them, they will become your future. But if you're able to just witness them and reflect on them, you learn from them and you choose differently so you don't repeat the past. That's what being present does. Your fear deserves compassion, but it does not automatically deserve the steering wheel. So if you had something in the past that caused you to be second guessing things, that's okay to pause and consider that, but don't let it dictate, oh man, I'm never eating that ever again, or I'm never going back to the barber shop. Let's just learn from it. Learn to say, I noticed this thought, I noticed this feeling, and I noticed this impulse. And then I choose this response. I choose to carry myself to attach or detach from it. And that is consciousness. That is agency and that is awakening, where you don't believe every thought enters your mind. You consider them, but you decide what thought is worthy and what thought needs to be let go. You don't have to react to every emotion. So if somebody says something that triggers you, reflect on that. Why am I triggered? You don't have to automatically respond to that person or that thing that triggered you. Evaluate yourself and just pause. Sometimes the most powerful spiritual practice is simply observing the thought, breathing, and choosing peace. So be where your feet are. When you're eating, make sure you're eating. When someone is speaking, make sure you're listening. When you are walking, make sure you're actually walking and not doing Texting, emailing, and go for that walk. When you're enjoying a prayer, actually be present in that prayer. When you're resting, actually make sure you're resting. When you're laughing, laugh. When you're grieving, grieve. When you're loving, love. Do not live half in the past and half in an imaginary future. Be present and be home. Be where your feet are. Be in the moment. Eminem say, you gotta lose yourself in the music. The moment you want it, you better never let it go, because you only get one shot. Do not miss a chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Be present. You don't have to make every thought extraordinary. You only just have to be there for it, to perceive, receive, and decide, is this something you want to achieve, or is this something that don't align with who you want to be, and release it. That is how we control our thoughts. So this is about being in an awakened life. Today, I invite you to wake up, not because you're broken, but wake up because you are alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Be in the moment. Be present, man. Be passionate. Wake up to your own heartbeat. Wake up to the people you love. The sunlight touching your face. Wake up to the hidden lessons that's inside of the difficulties you're facing. Wake up to the beauty that exists without having to ask permission. Wake up to your capacity to choose life again. And wake up to the presence of Source. That is light. That is love. That is peace. That is power. And when you catch yourself drifting into that autopilot, don't condemn yourself. Just return. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to the present room. Return to your values. Return to compassion. Return to love. Return to life, light, and peace, not perfection. Practice returning again and again. Every breath is an invitation, and that's what keeps that door open. You can still become enough to notice that some light has been with you all along, as long as you reflect on it and decide, what will you become in that moment? What will you have control over in every chapter? How can you learn to meet that moment with courage? This is where peace begins. This is where healing begins. This is where awareness begins. And truly, this is where connection begins. It's right here, right now. Just take a breath and feel grounded. You are here. You are alive. You are a part of this moment. So be present and be awake. Be compassionate. Be kind. Because this presence makes other people remember that they are alive too when you are alive. The world don't need people just doing things haphazardly, half-heartedly. The world needs people who are fully here. And this, man, I'm past moments where I was there, but I wasn't there. And it costs you those moments. So be present, man. Let your love become your language. Let your life become a living testimony that you are not merely passing through this existence, but that you are here to truly experience it, to learn from it, and to love through it, and to shine within it. So be here. The light is here, life is here, and so are you. Peace and love, family. Thank you for allowing me to share. Grand Rise and Amazing Grace. On behalf of Empire for the Youth, Mastermind Consulting Group, shalom, shalom. I pass it open forum.